We hope that tonight's feature film, Walking Through Fire, will help children and teenagers who need uplifting, who need to see that it is possible to get past the darkness and to have an incredible future. We also hope that the film will inspire parents who are frozen by the fear of stigma to finally approach us and get the help they need for their children. So please share this film, but not right now. Because Walking Through Fire may start out like an action movie, but there are delicate and sensitive moments throughout the film. So I ask all of you to please silence your phones and please put them away for the duration of this short film so that the screen glare from your phone does not ruin your neighbor's experience. Yaakov, Shelley, and the entire Gutman family, thank you for letting us tell your story.
The right path sometimes is hard, and it's built with stone and built with sweat and tears. And you gotta do what's right. You gotta stand up and stand up to the hardships.
We were pretty much a normal family, you know, pretty happy-go-lucky.
My mom is a very, very special person and beyond giving.
She put everything into us. We were her life.
Hello. Hello. Hi, Mommy. How you doing?
My father was a leader in the community. His name was Shirley Gutman.
He was a very unusual person, a happy, joyous, giving, caring, kind individual, you know, who would sit and learn with them and study with them and be with them and take them out and do stuff, play ball, whatever it was. You know, it was one of the reasons I married him, because he was a real daddy.
I remember my parents kissing, and I remember my parents holding hands, and I remember at the Shabbos table, them having their own type of language between their eyes. I mean, my parents really had a very, very special relationship of real love to one another, and the way real friends and real love should be.
When Yaakov was in first grade, he was very, very distractible. We realized that he had some kind of learning issues, and we did the best that we could to tackle it with, you know, our naivete that we had at that point in our lives. When he was in fourth grade, he really couldn't read. My husband and I met with Yaakov's Rebbe and sat down to make a plan for him, how he could learn better in class. And then, of course, you know, when we came back from winter break, the rug was pulled out from underneath him.
And Yaakov was 10 and my sister was 11. I was only 5 at the time.
It was the middle of the night. My bedroom was right next to the bathroom.
We heard like a loud crash in the bathroom.
And I heard a huge thud.
And my mom got up and ran to the bathroom to see what's happening.
And that's when I heard the scream. And I just ran out of bed and ran to the bathroom. My father had a heart attack. He dropped to the floor and stopped breathing.
And she's like, call 911.
I couldn't focus. I couldn't understand.
I couldn't remember my address. And it took the first responders a long time to get to us.
And my father's on a stretcher, hooked up to oxygen, and had an IV in him already.
We didn't really understand. We knew it couldn't have been good.
I think from exhaustion and just crazy emotions, I fell asleep on the floor.
And then my mother and my uncle came back.
And I see everybody very sad. And I remember I went straight to my mom and I said, you know, what happened? And she goes, Daddy's not coming home.
My uncle just kind of cradled us and was like, he's gone, but it's gonna be okay.
My mom was crying, my sister was crying, I was crying, my uncle was crying.
My kids went to sleep with a father and woke up with that one.
I couldn't understand that my father, my hero, could have something horrible happen to him.
And we cried a lot. And then by the morning, like, our house was filled with people.
And from then, they started getting me ready for the Alvaya, and we went to the cemetery and buried my father. After my father passed, my entire house was, flipped upside down.
I mean, it was a shock. It was a shock to everybody.
The first time I went to shul without my dad was a real eye-opener. When I used to go to shul with my dad, we used to have 1,000 eyes look at us because, hey, here's Shirley Gutman, who's everybody's best friend, who we all love and can't wait to see. And all of a sudden, you have 1,000 sad faces stare at you and go, where's your dad? And it was just depressing.
I think Yaakov just changed and everybody around him changed.
There was a lot of anger.
A lot of fighting that went on in the house.
So my Uncle Jeffrey, which is my mom's brother, he really took me under his wing. So my uncle passed away exactly 8 months after my father. That rocked my world. It really is like someone just taking a sledgehammer right to your heart.
So Yaakov didn't know where to turn or what to do with himself.
And here I am, 10, 11 years old. My father passed away. The guy who took over for him, in a sense, now just passes away. What do I do? And at that age, I felt very alone.
When my husband passed away, Yaakov totally shut down as far as academics went. So the school felt that if he was in an environment that could tackle all the issues, he would be in a better place. So because of that, I took Yaakov over to SINAI.
SINAI teachers are not judgmental. They are there to teach children who have been hammered and battered by their previous experiences, whether they are emotional or learning issues. Kids come to us feeling a lot of pain.
So I went into that school very anti, very unaccepting, very angry, and really just did not want to be there.
Yaakov Gutman came to SINAI as an angry, learning disabled child.
Dyslexia, ADD, ADHD.
He couldn't read.
All your friends are staring at you and going, I don't understand, you can't read? It makes you feel like an idiot, and it really makes you feel stupid.
So in addition to being angry and sad, he had low self-esteem in terms of his academics.
That first year, the focus was really on getting Yaakov the emotional support that he needed so that he could access the academic support that we were ready to provide.
So what was amazing about Mrs. Karp is that she decided to take me on as a project. She wanted to show me that I was worth it.
Judy Karp was determined.
I don't know how she did it, but she sat with me for hours, and took me step by step through and through to teach me how to read.
That was a gift that one can never say thank you enough, because without that ability to read, you can't really do much of anything. And she gave him that ability. And that was something that he will be grateful for, and I will be grateful for the rest of his life.
Kushner is a very welcoming community to us. They welcome our children to join with their kids for a variety of different activities.
Inclusion plays such a vital role in our work at SINAI.
Lenny Friedman was our basketball coach. He didn't care if I was from SINAI. He just accepted me for who I was. And it was wonderful being accepted onto the basketball team.
The fact that Yaakov might have been a SINAI student, absolutely nothing to do with what was going on the basketball court.
When he started playing basketball, that was like, gave him the extra self-esteem, like, I'm the star player on the basketball team,
It probably at that time was my lifesaver, because I finally got acceptance, not just for myself, but for my friends.
when Yaakov graduated high school, he went to yeshiva for a year in Israel.
I first met Yaakov Gutman 14 years ago when he came to Israel. I was teaching at the time, and we instantly connected.
Yaakov was is a tremendous Zionist. He just loved the country. He felt that's where he belongs.
And the rabbi called me up and said, Mrs. Gutman, you know, your son wants to go into the army, and I need your permission to let him go in.
My grandfather, Zichron Livracha, was in the Haganah. He was an underground fighter. He showed me a love and care of his country, which I thought was very important for the Jewish nation, and it's something that I could give to.
So I gave him my permission.
A lone soldier when they moved to Israel, and Yaakov was a lone soldier when he came, is a booster shot of Zionism. They're the modern day heroes. You got an American lone soldier coming here and saying, I'm with you. This is my future. This is my nation. This is my home.
ויעקב התחיל את הצבא בלי לדעת עברית בכלל. ואני זוכר שפגשתי אותו ושאלתי אותו, איך אתה מסתדר עם העברית? והוא אמר לי, אני לא מבין כלום.
So when I first got to the unit, I couldn't speak Hebrew. So I pretty much just followed what everybody else was doing. When everybody started running left, I started running left. When everyone started running right, I started running right. When they went down to push-ups, I did push-ups.
He got into a unit, and that unit usually breaks people. And there were moments that I thought he was going to ask to be transferred to a different unit. But his determination pushed him through, and he didn't quit.
That, what I learned at Sinai, I took that to the Army with me as well. It took a lot of focus, a lot of blood, sweat going into it. But I took myself by the reins, and I said, all right, you got to start doing well here, and you got to start building yourself strong.
So Yaakov went into the army and excelled phenomenally. I mean, like, for once in his life, he was top-notch.
ואני חושב שבאמת יעקב זה אחד מהחיילים שהייתי רוצה שיהיה לידי בקרב. שאני יודע שלא משנה מה יקרה, אני יודע שיעקב ירים אותי ויקח אותי אם הוא יצטרך על הגב שלו.
That wonderful foundation that I got through Sinai of overcoming my social anxieties and learning how to build my own confidence, my own social confidence, definitely gave me a springboard to when I was in the Army to be able to interact with my fellow soldiers, my commanders, and then eventually my own soldiers. When you're a commander, you have hard choices that sit in front of you. You have to take your men, you have to put them in harm's way. My father was a leader in his community. My responsibility was to be a leader to my soldiers. I worked hard. I never lost a soldier, thank God. None of my soldiers ever got injured. But we went through hard missions and went through very hard things.
And then when he finished the army, he wanted to do special ops. They used to do anti-terrorist stuff, and there was a terrorist up on the roof that had a big boulder, and he was aiming it at the kid's head. And I always felt that Yaakov wouldn't get hurt on his own. He would only get hurt saving someone's life. And so what he ended up doing was throwing his body over this kid so that he wouldn't get killed, and the boulder hit Yaakov's shoulder, and he had a 40% tear of his shoulder.
I protected my men and protected my people. And if I ever had to do it, I'd do it over again without question.
Yaakov wanted to be a firefighter very badly.
This is how I'm going to help my people. This is how I'm going to be able to give my way back to the people of Israel. When you go into a fire, you don't think about your personal life. You don't think about anything that's going on with you. You have one goal and one goal only, is to save whoever's in there.
You work like a machine. You need to get inside to the fire, to rescue people, to get the people out.
That's what it means to be a fireman. It means going in without thinking about it, going into a black, dark room full of smoke, not knowing what you're going to come at.
You save children, you save old people. You feel very good with that. You go home and you feel that your heart is full.
My wife is an unbelievable person, and she puts up with me day in and day out and completely deserves a medal for it.
He is a very funny, friendly, loving, caring person, and that's probably why I fell in love with him.
Having a child now definitely changes my view on life in general.
Yaakov is an amazing dad. We called our son Yehonatan Yitzchak. He's named after Yaakov's father.
It's thinking of my father's always been looking down for me. And I hope that the times that I was doing good things, he was looking down with a smile.
For Yaakov, it was a very long and hard journey.
Yaakov teaches us that no matter what obstacle is placed in front of an individual, if you have the spirit and the love and the support, you can overcome it.
The lessons that I've taken away from the Sinai school have definitely helped me to become the person that I am today.
What Sinai means to many families is a sense of hope, hope to the families and hope to the students themselves, that people care to invest in them, care to invest in their trajectory for success.
In every child, in every student, in every person, there's value. My teachers decided that I was worth something. Decided that if you believe in a child and you believe in what they can do and you show them that you believe in them, they'll start believing in themselves and move forward.
Oh gosh. I don't know if I can read it without crying. But this is what he did turn into. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I guess this is what I read. This was his speech, my speech at his bar mitzvah. So, your name is also Yaakov, and this is your day, just like Yaakov Avinu of so long ago. The Yaakov Gutman of this day can also make the decision to carry the responsibility for Jewish survival and spiritual leadership. Sorry. While Daddy, Alav Shalom, may not be here at this moment, what a beautiful legacy of character and deeds he's left to you. I can see in your actions how well Daddy taught you in the short time you had with him. His ability to plant the seed of Yiddishkeit and mitzvot was done with Hashem's blessing. This is the day that you can begin as a full-fledged member of Kal Yisrael to be the leader for and keeper of our people. And just as Yaakov of old, may you too be the spark that can guide our people and ensure our future. And that's what he turned into. That's pretty cool. I can't believe that I read this at the bar mitzvah, because that's what you turned into. That's pretty amazing. Thank you.